Back-to-back losses, done at 36? Nah, Volkanovski just delivered one of the gutsiest performances of his career. What do you think? Share your thoughts in comment section. By now, we've all seen what Alexander Volkanovski is capable of. But after 2 tough knockout losses, people were starting to doubt him. Some even said he was done. Well, they were wrong. Because at UFC 314, Volkanovski did what champions do. He came back stronger. In a 5-round war, he beat Diego Lopes by unanimous decision and took back the featherweight title. The great is champion again. Let's break down how it all went down. Before the fight, going into UFC 314, the pressure was on. Volkanovski had just turned 36. He was coming off back-to-back knockouts, first against Islam Makhachev, then against Ilia Topuria. A lot of fans were asking, can he still hang with the best? On the other side, you had Diego Lopes, ranked number 3 in the world, riding a 5-fight win streak. This was his big chance, his first title shot. And he wasn't just coming to fight. He was coming to take that belt. The build-up was tense. Volkanovski promised he was ready. Lopes said he was going to bring fireworks, and when the cage door shut, they both delivered. Round 1. Volkanovski came out sharp. He was focused, fast, and accurate. His hooks were landing clean, and his low kicks kept Lopes guessing. Lopes tried to fire back, but Volkanovski was just 1 step ahead. He even scored a takedown late in the round to stamp it. Round 2. This one was wild. Volk looked in control early, landing clean combos. But right before the bell, boom. Lopes caught him with a beautiful 1-2. Volkanovski hit the mat. It was a scary moment, but he stayed calm and bounced back fast. Round 3. Volkanovski got back to work. He kept his distance, used his jab, and picked his shots. Lopes couldn't find a rhythm. Volk's footwork and timing were on point. He kept chopping away at the legs and made Lopes miss big. Round 4. Now this is where things got dicey again. Lopes landed an uppercut that clipped Volkanovski's eye. You could see him blinking, trying to clear it. Lopes went all in, throwing everything he had. But Volk stayed smart, weathered the storm, and fired back with counters before the round ended. Round 5, in final round. Both guys gave it everything. Lopes pushed forward, hoping for a finish. But Volkanovski kept his cool, landed the cleaner shots, and avoided a brawl. He ended strong. And when the final horn sounded, it felt like he had done enough. The decision. All 3 judges saw it for Volkanovski. 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47. And just like that, he was champion again. He made history too, becoming only the second 2-time featherweight champ after Jose Aldo, and the first male fighter to win a title fight after turning 35. In his post-fight speech, Volk said, "People doubted me, and that's okay. I never stopped believing. This one's for my supporters." Lopes, even in defeat, showed respect. "I gave it my all. I'll be back. This isn't over." At 30, Diego Lopes still has time. And after this performance, no one's counting him out. What Volkanovski did in this fight wasn't just skill, it was brutal comeback. He got knocked down. He had an eye injury. But he never panicked. He stuck to the game plan and fought like a champion. That's why he's one of the best to ever do it. Lopes also didn't quit. Not once. He had his moments, especially that knockdown in round 2 and the pressure in round 4. He just came up short this time. But make no mistake, he's the real deal. And he'll be back. So there you have it. UFC 314 gave us a classic. Volkanovski proved he's still the great. And Diego Lopes proved he belongs with the elite. Who's next for Volkanovski? That's the big question. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to like and subscribe. But one thing's for sure. The featherweight division just got a whole lot more interesting.
This is how we win. We game plan, we use our fight IQ, and we beat motherfuckers up. Anyone else got any questions?
Who would you like to fight next?
Anyone in the top 4, top 5?
By now you've probably seen the headlines. But what really went down at UFC 314 between Paddy Pimblet and Michael Chandler? Well, the baddie didn't just win, he made a statement. A third-round knockout in a fight that could change the future of the lightweight division. UFC 314 went down at the Kaseya Center in Miami, and while the main card was packed, it was the co-main event that had fans talking. Paddy Pimblet, the rising fan favorite, was taking on Michael Chandler, a veteran known for his wild, aggressive style. For Chandler, this fight was about proving he still had it. For Paddy, it was the biggest test of his career. Before they stepped in the cage, both guys were confident. Chandler made it clear he was coming to throw hands. Paddy? He stayed cool, saying he'd use his reach and grappling to handle whatever Chandler brought. And let's be honest, everyone knew Chandler was going to come out swinging. Round 1, testing the waters. It started off pretty balanced. Chandler scored an early takedown, and for a second, it looked like he might control things. But Paddy got back up fast, landed some nasty leg kicks, and kept his distance. Chandler threw heavy shots, but Pimblet stayed composed and kept chopping away at those legs. Round 2, Paddy finds his rhythm. This is where it shifted. Paddy looked more confident, more in control. He stuffed Chandler's takedown and even got on top, throwing elbows and threatening submissions. Chandler was still dangerous, but Paddy was clearly pulling ahead. Round 3. Lights out. And then came the moment. Early in the third, Pimblet landed a brutal knee that cut Chandler open. He followed it up with a takedown, got into a dominant position, and started raining down strikes. The ref had no choice but to step in. TKO, fight over, statement made. Paddy's win wasn't a fluke. Here's how he did it. Smart striking. He used his reach and landed heavy leg kicks, keeping Chandler from getting too close. Better grappling. On the ground, Paddy was in control. He reversed positions, threatened submissions, and made Chandler uncomfortable. Insane cardio. He kept the pressure high all fight long. By the third round, Chandler was slowing down, and Paddy took full advantage. What they said after. After the fight, Paddy didn't hold back. He said he's coming for the top 5. You can laugh all you want, but look at me now. He gave props to his team and said the game plan worked perfectly. Chandler, on the other hand, was quiet. This was his 3rd straight loss, and it might be the toughest one yet. What this means for the lightweight division, Paddy's now in the mix. With a win like this, he's probably cracking the top 10. One more big win, and he could be fighting for the title. Chandler? It's hard to say. He's now 2-5 in the UFC. Still dangerous, still exciting, but the road back to the top just got a lot tougher. Paddy Pimblet didn't just beat Michael Chandler, he dominated him. Striking, grappling, cardio, it was all there. And now, the baddie is looking at the top of the mountain. Paddy Pimblet's win at UFC 314 wasn't just another victory, it was a message to the division. He's not just hype, he's the real deal, and he's coming for that title. There's been a big buzz in the UFC world after Ilia Topuria's next opponent was seemingly leaked during a live broadcast. Fans thought they heard that Topuria's next fight would be against Charles Oliveira, as the Spanish-language feed of UFC Vegas 105 made the announcement. But the UFC quickly stepped in to shut down the rumors. So here's the deal. Topuria, who's been the undefeated UFC featherweight champ, is moving up to lightweight. This means he'll no longer hold the 145-pound title, especially after UFC 314, where Volkanovski and Diego Lopes will face off. Back in February, Topuria made it clear he was vacating the featherweight title to try his hand at lightweight, though we didn't know who his first opponent would be in this new weight class. Was it true? The UFC was quick to deny the rumors. According to a tweet from MMA journalist Alex Behunin, the UFC confirmed the news about Topuria. Fighting Oliveira was a mistake and not accurate. This all came after fans were excited by the potential fight, especially since the two have been going back and forth on social media. Ilia Topuria has fought 16 times, winning all of his bouts with an undefeated record of 16-0. On the other hand, Charles Oliveira has fought 46 times, securing 35 wins and suffering 10 losses in his professional career. Oliveira currently ranked number 2 in the lightweight division, hasn't fought since his win over Michael Chandler at UFC 309 in November 2024. Meanwhile, Topuria has been out of action even longer after knocking out Max Holloway at UFC 308 last October. What's next for Topuria? Even though the fight with Oliveira isn't set yet, a win over the former lightweight champ would definitely bring Topuria closer to a title shot. The UFC's quick denial of the fight could mean they just want to announce it with more fanfare later, but the excitement surrounding Topuria's move to lightweight is real. Fans are eager to see what's next for this undefeated star. While he might not be facing the lightweight champ Islam Makhachev just yet, the speculation around Topuria's next fight continues to build. With so much interest, it's no surprise the news about Oliveira got so much attention. So, stay tuned. The UFC might have big plans for Topuria, but for now, we'll have to wait and see. On the other hand, Paddy Pimblet is overflowing with confidence as he approaches UFC 314, boldly declaring the beginning of his quest for a title. After taking on Michael Chandler, Pimblet has set his sights on a title shot by 2026, with potential opponents like Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje on his radar. However, it's Ilia Topuria that Pimblet is particularly targeting as his first title defense, driven by a personal ambition to take down the undefeated fighter and prove his dominance in the division. UFC 314 has a lot on the line, and for those looking to place bets, there are some interesting money lines to consider, especially for the fight at the top of the card for the vacant featherweight title. The matchup between former champion Alexander Volkanovski and rising star Diego Lopes promises to be a thrilling clash with plenty of unpredictability. Volkanovski, the former featherweight champion, is widely regarded as one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC. In his previous title reign, he showcased exceptional striking, with an impressive 63.8% significant strike accuracy rate. His ability to control the pace of a fight and land clean strikes from a distance made him a nightmare for opponents. His overall record stands at 26-2, with 12 KO TKO finishes and 3 submission wins. Volkanovski's durability and his high fight IQ have been key in his reign, with victories over top-tier fighters like Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, and Jose Aldo. On the other hand, Diego Lopes is a young and hungry challenger with a 22-5 record. Lopes enters this fight on the back of a strong performance that earned him a shot at the title. His striking accuracy is solid, with a significant strike rate of 57.3%, and he is known for his ability to finish fights, with 10 knockouts and 8 submissions in his career. Lopes' well-rounded skill set is what makes him a dangerous opponent. His ability to mix things up, whether in the striking exchanges or on the ground, keeps his opponents guessing. When it comes to win rates, Volkanovski has the edge with a dominant 93% win rate. Lopes, while still a rising star, has an 81% win rate, showing that he has a knack for getting the job done, but may lack the same level of experience at the top. Despite being the underdog, Lopes' striking accuracy and relentless approach could cause problems for Volkanovski if he can close the distance and avoid the champion's precise counters. This matchup is especially intriguing due to the contrast in styles. Volkanovski's high output, technical striking against Lopes' aggressive and diverse skill set, creates the perfect storm for a highly competitive title bout. The betting lines reflect Volkanovski's dominance in the division, but don't count Lopes out just yet. He's a dangerous fighter with a lot to prove. Once feared and adored as the Notorious, Conor McGregor stood at the top of the MMA world. He was fast, ruthless, confident, a true knockout artist. But now, the man who once owned the UFC spotlight barely fights at all. Instead, he's hanging out with politicians, promoting bare-knuckle events and chasing headlines outside the cage. What happened to the fighter who ruled 2 divisions? How did a global superstar go from glory to gossip? Share your thoughts in comments below. This is the brutal fall of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's story didn't start in luxury. He had a dream to fight. And not just fight, but dominate. In 2013, he joined the UFC. In just a few fights, McGregor became a sensation. His sharp left hand, unpredictable movement, and knockout power made him a fan favorite. He talked big, and he backed it up. One of McGregor's most iconic moments came when he faced Jose Aldo, a champion who hadn't lost in almost a decade. But Conor, he ended the fight in just 13 seconds. One punch. History made. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. McGregor wasn't just a good fighter, he was becoming a legend. After that, he made UFC history again by becoming the first fighter to hold 2 belts in different weight classes at the same time. But it wasn't just his skills. Conor was a genius in promoting himself. He knew how to talk. He sold fights better than anyone. Fans either loved him or wanted to see him lose. Either way, they watched. Every press conference was a show. Every fight announcement was an event. And while others trained quietly, McGregor built a brand. Then came the fight that changed everything. Not in the octagon, but in the boxing ring. McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. Fans were excited. But deep down, many knew this wasn't about fighting. It was about the money. The event made headlines worldwide. Conor trained hard, but he was outmatched. Mayweather won easily. Still, McGregor walked away with over $100 million in earnings. And with that kind of money, things started to change. McGregor eventually returned to the UFC, but things weren't the same. He now faced Khabib Nurmagomedov, a quiet, disciplined, undefeated champion.
Big game now, I'm here. He done fucking nothing. He sat and took a shit on that bus, hid and cowered behind fucking women and caused what happened to happen.
In the build-up, Conor used his usual trash talk, insulting Khabib's religion, family and country. But once the cage door shut, the hype ended. Khabib dominated the fight. He smashed McGregor, submitted him, and then jumped out of the cage to attack Conor's team. It was chaos. The UFC had never seen anything like it. McGregor didn't just lose that night. He lost his aura. After that loss, McGregor's career took a turn. He fought sporadically. He beat Donald Cerrone quickly in 2020, but then came the Dustin Poirier trilogy. In their third fight, disaster struck. McGregor's leg snapped during the fight. A brutal injury. He lay on the mat, yelling, helpless. It wasn't just a fight lost, it was a long road to recovery. As McGregor stepped away from fighting, headlines didn't stop. But they weren't about knockouts or belts, they were about trouble. From being caught in street fights, to being accused of assault, to reckless driving. Conor's name stayed in the news for the wrong reasons.
No. Listen, what we're going to do for these 2 gentlemen, as well as a bonus, is double the purse. They're getting double pay. That's him straight.
On social media, he posted bizarre rants, picked fights with fans, and mocked other fighters. His wild personality, once charming, was now worrying. The same fire that once made him exciting now looked more like chaos. In 2024, McGregor made headlines again, not with his fists, but with his politics. He met with Donald Trump, shook hands, smiled for the cameras, and even praised him publicly. Some fans supported it. Others were confused. Why was a former UFC champion getting involved in US politics? McGregor spoke about leadership, about making America great again, and began using social media like a political influencer, rather than an athlete. It was clear, his focus was shifting far from the cage. Instead of training for fights, McGregor started attending and promoting events for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC. He was seen at their shows, smiling, holding a belt, talking business. So, what really caused the fall of Conor McGregor? Was it the money, the fame, the distractions? Maybe it was all of it. His fighting style changed. He became less explosive. His focus was divided: business, politics, personal issues. And the sport? It moved on. New stars rose. Fighters like Islam Makhachev, Sean O'Malley, and Leon Edwards started owning the spotlight McGregor once held. So, is he done? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear.